1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm just counting the crew. And Travis. Thank you, sir. Travis insists. iPad's back. Terrific. Here are the letters tonight. Bid's just sitting over there. We've got one of our panellists here. What are you... Technology challenged. Sorry, different generation. Here we go. First letter tonight. With that thinking, we should each have 2 on the go at any one time. One to satisfy the physical, the other for the relationship. Who writes it in? Yes, it's a woman from Victoria. Having fun in Melbourne, are we? Second letter tonight. So I had some really great romance in their very comfortable lounge setting, and it was all captured on video. CCTV. And what happens if you forget that it's on? And the last letter for tonight. Since 1980, 100% of economic growth has been flowing exclusively into the pockets of the richest 10%, namely the bankers and their associates. What does the panel think about that and all the other letters? Stay tuned, sweet and sour. Don't go away. We'll see you soon. Bid, have you had a look at the letters?
Got a problem, big or small, would a miracle be nice? Our motley crew is back, churning out advice. You might even laugh a bit in the following half hour. Park your backside on the couch, 'cause baby, it's time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour. Yeah! It's time for Sweet and Sour.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sweet and Sour. Lovely to have your company. Gary Mitchell with you for the next half hour and a terrific lineup of guests. My mate Bid is in. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Nice to have you here again,
it's
sir.
episode 666, so I wore red. Isn't that lovely?
It is. They don't know that at home, but it most definitely is our 666th episode tonight.
So I thought, what the hell?
If anything goes weird tonight, it's the 666 influence. Welcome, mate.
Thank you.
I just wanted to touch on some of your career aspects that you were telling me about. You were Bureau Chief for Channel 7.
I was.
In London.
Indeed.
You also were... Can you tell us about the... Just face the camera, and they're all your acting awards. Every time you got...
They're acting achievements. They're personal achievements, yeah.
And the ones on the other side?
They're spiritual lessons.
Terrific to have you here, sir. We'll talk about those a little bit later. Where have you been? And you're back with us, and we're delighted. Are you back permanently?
I'm back permanently, yes. Great to be back in the best country in the world, Australia.
It's because she froze her bits off in Canada, right?
It's cold up there. You could say that, yeah.
What's the coldest it got to?
Minus 46 or something where
And that was on a good beach day. Terrific.
Yeah. And they call beaches where they have the lakes and the rivers, and I'm thinking, this isn't a beach. But
really?
They're not
lakes are beaches?
Yeah, the edges of the lakes. And they go, let's go to the beach. And I'm thinking, that's not a beach. No. Not like our beaches.
We're people from Perth. We can appreciate a real beach. Right, Anita?
Yes, but I wouldn't mind going snowboarding and skiing in Canada.
Yeah, for about a week and a half on holiday.
And then come back home.
And then come back home.
I'm looking forward to the beach weather though. This week has been great.
I've already been.
Oh, really?
I started the season about a month ago.
Got to get fit first.
Oh, no, you don't. You can appreciate the beach at any time. Right, Harry?
Absolutely.
All right. You know, I'm looking at you. What's the prediction?
I think the Turnbull factor is going to kick in tomorrow.
And?
I don't think we're going to see a move either way. I think they're going to hold the rates because if it drops the rates, that means it's going to go down to 1.75. Last year it was 2.5. The year before it was 2.5. I just don't see us breaking 2.
Okay. So tell me, that means the Turnbull factor is a positive thing for the economy?
Positive thing.
Nothing wrong with that.
The banks are starting to loosen up a bit on their lending, so they've all put their reserves up, their cash reserves are up, so all of a sudden we're going to see lending become easier. It doesn't mean rates are going to come down, but lending is going to be easier. There's going to be more volume in the market.
We're 24 million people in a Western economy that's got billions of people in it. How much can we do to starve off what may be a negative wave in the rest of the world?
I think the number one thing is that we live in the best country that produces food in the world. I think we've got a standard for high quality food, and I think we've just got to continue to build on food and build on innovation and technology. We've developed some incredible technology in Australia, but we've let it sail off the country. We need to keep it on board.
Yeah, terrible.
That's it.
Have you seen the title of the first letter? Sex Fest. Here we go. Dear Sweet and Sour. Why is it that we've had to wait for the professional world to declare that it's okay to have sex on the first date before we feel comfortable to do it. I've been saying that it's okay for the last 10 years, but everyone would just look at me, and my gal pals are the worst offenders, as if I'm just a slut. Now that some professor psychologist has penned an article to say that we should have sex on the first date, all of my girlfriends are abuzz with delight as if the notion was cast in heaven and passed to us just yesterday by the good Lord. And to be honest, the reasoning this so-called expert offered was simply to get past the physical and let's see if it's a real relationship. This professional has to be a moron. Seriously, with that thinking, we should each have 2 on the go at any one time. One to satisfy the physical and the other for the relationship. As far as I'm concerned, it's just okay to have sex on the first date because we aren't hurting anyone and it's healthy. End of story. As far as I'm concerned, this stuff goes to show we're still learning about human behaviour, and professionals at this point can and will cash in if they give everyone licence to bonk for this reason or that. Please, panel, if you agree, just tell everyone sex on the first date is okay. And it comes to us from Janie of Preston in Victoria. Anita.
Well, maybe that's okay for her, but she can't speak for everyone else. You know, everyone to themselves.
Well, she's putting a rule out for society
there's
that
no
it's
rule.
okay.
There's no
Everybody,
rule.
it's okay.
Some people want to wait, other people don't. Other people want to wait until marriage in some cultures, and then
Yes,
other people wait
that's
for a
very
couple
true.
of months, and then it just depends on the person, it depends on the relationship. And personally, I don't think it puts out a very good image if you do that, but that's personal opinion. Everyone to themselves.
So Janie of Preston, Victoria, has been telling her mates for the last 10 years that it's okay, but they've been looking at her with a bit of an evil eye.
Well,
And
obviously they don't think the same.
but now they do because some professional has come
Yeah, that's
out and said
ridiculous.
celebrate it.
That's ridiculous.
So what's going on in their heads, Harry?
The professional obviously wants to sell his book, and this is part of the entree through Amazon. He'll be able to sell it. Look, at the end of the day, I agree with Anita. It boils down to free will. If you want to have sex on the first date, great. If you want to have someone that is part A and someone else that's part B, then maybe what you need to look for is love like Araldite, where you mix part A and part B, and you end up with some real super glue. Ooh, you like that one?
That would entail 3 or 4 people in a relationship.
Look, I think there's a big difference between romance and sex. I mean, all she's talking about is just sex. This is not romance. This is wham bam, thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Bid?
I'd like to hear. I mean, I'm not the person. I have no problem with sex on a first date, but I'm not the person you have to convince. It's your partner. As Mae West said, sex is a lot like the game of bridge. If you don't have a great partner, you're going to need a terrific hand. So you've got to be sensitive. And because this is somebody's head, heart and body that you're dealing with, they need to know whether this is just bonking or making love. It's okay for one person, it's not okay for another person. So yeah, don't make rules. As far as experts come and go, if you pardon the expression. So I would take your advice with a grain of salt, but I wouldn't rub it on the affected area.
We really are in a period, though. The one thing that I agree with her is that we are in a period where we're just learning. All of a sudden, we've opened everything up and everything's fair game. And I'm sure they'll be writing about this particular period in generations to come because we are guinea pigs for the next generation. It's quite bizarre. How do you feel? Yes or no?
Oh, I say, goodness me.
Jerry's just sitting over there. Lisa's mum's just sitting over there. So, you know, take her answer with a little pinch
Well, the
of salt.
answer is it's definitely not okay to do that then, under any circumstances at all,
till
young
you're
lady.
married, right?
Wait until you're married. Exactly. That, just like I have. That's exactly right. So, Janie,
When
you
did
seem
you
very
get married?
angry. I got married last week.
He just doesn't know.
Jerry wants to know why she wasn't invited.
But Janie sounds very angry. I think she needs to calm down. She just wants everyone to agree with her opinion, and people are entitled to their own. So,
Yeah, that's true.
You
think? Go on,
She
sorry.
needs a release.
she does need a release. Well, maybe she's getting too much of a release. And
Probably
she's,
day
her friends are
release by
jealous
the
even.
sound of
Who
things more
knows?
than anything. I don't know, Sam. But look, okay, hands up. Okay on the first date. 1,
Providing there's informed consent.
informed consent.
Look, no chemical inducements, no coercion, no lies. No, I'm
Agreement.
serious. No lies to make it happen, and no confusion over whether we're bonking or making love. And then I say it's fine on a
Oh, that's hard to discern that, isn't
A
it?
lot of dates
For a
do
bloke?
include wine though.
A lot-
So that is a little bit of a
Ooh, that's a
lubricant
chemical
to
inducement.
Is he?
Oscar
Wine,
Wilde said
lubricant.
everything in the world is about sex except sex, and sex is about power, and I agree with him.
How does that work?
Well, I think it's a
You have to-
power relationship, so
you
you've
have
got
to
to be.
explain it
It's
to
all
me
about
during the break.
consent. It's all about consent.
When we come back, we're going to be talking about sex again. And a lady writes in and she's been caught on CCTV. And unfortunately, we don't have the footage to show you, but tune in anyway afterwards because we've got a good discussion coming up. More of Sweet and Sour. Don't go away. We'll see you soon.
It's time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour.
Welcome back to Sweet and Sour. If you'd like to send us a letter, send it to the address that's appearing on your screen right now. There it is, letters@sweetandsour.net.au. You can even jump on and have a look at our website as well at sweetandsour.net.au. Give us a like on Facebook, send us a tweet, there it is, and you can even have a look at some photos backstage on Instagram there at Sweet and Sour TV. And everyone who does send us a letter and we read out and we discuss with all of our panellists, we're going to send you to the movies courtesy of Natalie Cameron and NRC Communication. And the movie we're sending you to is Freeheld. And Lisa's been and she said it was fantastic, right?
Fantastic.
Did you say it on the plane coming home?
I did. It was fantastic.
Starring?
Starring that Julianne Moore.
Oh, you're very good. What a...
That was lucky.
Hi panel, I'm really stuck. I house sat for my girlfriend for a couple of weeks while she and her hubby went on holiday. During the house sit, I invited over some men at different times, of course, thinking I had exclusive privacy. Well, it turns out that my girlfriend's hubby has had CCTV for a few years. Now, I was told at the time, but simply forgot about it these 4 years later. So I had some really great romance in their very comfortable lounge setting, and it was all captured on video. That's not a rarity now, except that it's all become awkward because it caught me having sex with the husband of my girlfriend's husband's sister. Yep, the man who owns the CCTV, my girlfriend's husband, has the goods on me and his own brother-in-law. This is just awful. My girlfriend doesn't know. Her husband with the CCTV, who has always hit on me, and I always laughed it off, is demanding me to have an affair with him, otherwise he'll show the tape to all, ruining relationships and friendships. Yes, he's a fink, but I haven't been an angel either, and having an affair with him wouldn't be too bad. I would feel really guilty going behind my girlfriend's back, but what's the best thing to do for all? Please give me some insights because my thinking is also very clouded through panic. Comes to us from Jess of Subiaco in WA, who didn't think to put anonymous of Subiaco in WA. But Jess, we'll see what advice Bid's got for you.
Jess, seriously, what, are you raised by wolves? I mean, let's recap, okay? So you're having sex with, among others, one married guy. Another married guy, despicably I know, is trying to blackmail you into having sex with him, and you think that wouldn't be too bad. And to cap it off, he's your girlfriend's husband. I mean,
This sounds like a reality show. I want
What
to see the
the
cameras out.
actual quack are you thinking? Jess, morals, standards are like knickers. It's when you lower them, when you drop them, that's when you get rogered. So do not pass go, do not collect $200, do not go and buy a condom. Go straight to your girlfriend now and tell her everything, including what her husband has been up to, and let the cards and the knickers fall where they may.
Bid says speak.
Speak now or get caught.
Ooh, there's a little saying that I've come across, if you speak, you will reek. So what does Lisa have to say?
Oh, this is bad. The whole situation's bad. I think, girl, you need to think this through. There is nothing good in this situation happening right now. If you do like danger, then go parachuting or something. But these guys, it sounds ridiculous. And maybe you're a little bit young, you don't realise that men don't behave like this. These guys are children, and bad ones at that. So I say, get your high heels off and get your sneakers on and run out of there as fast as you can. And as for your girlfriend, tell her. I think so. It's bad news.
You're going to hurt her.
Yeah, but to continue the way she is would be worse.
Well, if she continues, that's right.
Yeah.
But at this point in time, she hasn't hurt anybody. And the bloke who's married, that's him doing the dirty. And you could actually say, you know, if she didn't know he was married, well, not her fault.
And how's the form of your friend's husband demanding it from you as well? I mean, what are these guys? This
Why
is
wouldn't you
not
just say to
okay.
him, if you're trying to protect everybody, wouldn't you just say, I'm sorry, I didn't know, I made an error. If you're going to go and show people, you're going to hurt people, that's up to you. I'd say,
yeah, it's true.
go show if you really want to hurt people. Why would you put out because you're being blackmailed?
That's right, yeah.
Silly, I think. Maybe, yeah. It sounds like you actually want to go ahead here.
She does.
She does?
It's disgusting. Leave the country, change your name and become a new person, because the person you are right now is an ugly one.
Oh,
yeah, I like it.
When is it ever okay to sleep with a mate's, a relation's or anybody's
not.
partner?
It's not.
Huh? When? Why do you think this is okay? You're looking for us to give you permission. I wouldn't think so. Harry, permission granted at that end?
No score, no foul. That's what I say.
No.
I think what you've got to do is get your girlfriend and suggest to have a ménage à trois.
Ooh.
And get the boyfriend or the husband involved, and then basically that will blow it out of the ground, because she will definitely say no, and then you've actually flushed him out. You've got to be a bit smarter with this guy, because he is a fink, and you're a bit of a fink too, wanting to sort of do the business with him as well. That's not very good of you. But you need to flush him out and be a bit smarter and catch him in his own trick.
Harry says go loud. I don't know whether you go loud. You know, you're going to hurt a lot of people going loud.
The guy's a creep. Something needs
The
to
guy
happen.
is a creep,
Yeah.
but why
On the
wouldn't you
other
take
hand,
it to him?
Perhaps you're doing your girlfriend a favour.
Absolutely.
True.
He's a fink.
But that's for the girlfriend to work out, isn't it?
Maybe
But
she's doing
at the
same
moment,
thing.
she doesn't know.
She doesn't know that her old man's hitting on her girlfriend.
Maybe she doesn't know about the CCTV too.
The messenger always takes the hit.
The messenger always takes
the
the
person
hit.
that tells up is always going to take the hit. So you might have to lose that friendship.
I'd not be speaking, but
Yeah.
I'd certainly not be
Send a
complying
text.
to blackmail either.
Block the
Terrible.
number.
All right. Okay, hang on. Another vote. Those who say we're going to tell the wife. Hands up. Do you tell the wife?
As best you can.
Oh, so hang on. We got the two men. Ooh, we pushed everybody. No, I wouldn't be telling the wife. We got a half vote over here. All right. But the majority of the panel say go and tell the wife. Go and tell your girlfriend. When we come back, we're going to be talking about Harry's favourite topic, banks ripping off people. They don't rip off people, do they?
No, they don't. They're a humanitarian organisation.
Humanitarian. When we come back, more of Sweet Sour. Don't go away.
Gentlemen, waking up at 5:30 in the morning, having to go to the toilet, sour. Waking up at 5:30 in the morning with a little bit of bliss is sweet. Wicked. Laughing. Cocoing, you know what I'm saying, boys? Lovely.
It's time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour.
Pour some sugar on there, baby.
Welcome back to Sweet and Sour. Here we go. Last letter of the night. What a banker, it's titled. Hi, Mitch and guests. Simply put, property ownership is a total con perpetrated by the purveyors of bank and industry profits. Harry's taking his pen to it already. Think about it. Humankind has been on the planet for at least 150,000 years, and ownership has been around only since bankers worked out that this is the greatest way to make ongoing profit. It really is what has defined the Western world. Now all the Western economies continue to be teetering on the brink because of the ongoing effects of bank greed through subprime loans to people who could never afford repayments. Of course, the bankers now have been able to buy up massive amounts of property around the world at trivial prices. We're all on this treadmill because of our cultural acceptance of property ownership and the indispensable and inextricable role the banks have manoeuvred themselves into in our very consumer world. What will it take to make people wake up? We're all on the mortgage debt until death treadmill because we aren't taught another way. Yet since 1980, 100% of economic growth has been flowing exclusively into the pockets of the richest 10%, namely the bankers and their associates. How do we wake up the world? And it comes to us from Ardle of Red Hill in Victoria. Harry, happily first on this one.
Okay. Look, what we probably need to do is change the banking rules a bit and the corporations' rules a little bit like Denmark. If the banks do misbehave, the bankers then go to jail. Not like the US where the bankers do misbehave, take all the money and no one goes to jail.
Yeah.
Everyone goes to the Hamptons.
Good point. We need to tighten
So we
up.
need to tighten that up. The thing about mortgages is that they're a fact of life. People are never going to be able to save up and to buy their houses. You need to have a mortgage, and there are hundreds and thousands of people I know that have paid off their homes by good budgeting, good money management, and they've got their home debt free. And not everybody wants to have investment properties. Some people are very happy just to have their own nest egg and to be comfortable, safe and secure, not having to look over their shoulders. So unfortunately, I don't tend to agree with your comments. It's not as bad as you're making out.
If we wanted to live simply
That's it.
and have our own place and invest our additional monies elsewhere, not
Exactly.
necessarily in investment properties,
Exactly. You
we
can
mightn't be pushing the prices up.
Yep.
And
You can get good houses, you just need to go out of the inner city, and the further you go out, the prices come down. It's a supply and demand situation, but if you want to live close in the city, you're going to have to pay a premium.
Anita, do you want to buy your own home?
Look, I do, and it is hard these days, but there's a lot of education out there at the moment, and it's all about communicating ways of successfully doing it. And I know lots of my friends that are my age that are buying their first houses. It is possible. You might have to go a little bit further out initially, but anything's possible with the right education and the right tools, which is why we've got people like Harry to educate us and tell us the avenues and the ways that we can do it ourselves. And saving. It's about working hard and saving up.
Saving.
One of the best ways I've seen people do it, Gary, is that you have your salary and you put 1/3 away in the bank and you don't touch that 1/3. No matter what happens, you don't touch it. You put it in an account where you can't draw out the money, you can only draw out the whole lot. And once you've got regular savings, you can prove to the bank that you can save money, you can make your mortgage repayments and a steady job, you'll get a house just like everybody else.
1/3 is enough?
1/3 is enough.
1/3 is enough? Is 1/3 enough for you?
Oh, I tell you what's enough for me is when my salary goes a lot higher as well.
It's a tough gig. Buying property is a tough gig.
It is tough, and I think in support of Harry's comment as well is that the good thing about if you're going to put away 1/3 of your salary, if you have a property, then that's forced savings in many respects as well, which is how my dad taught us to do it also, which is how I managed to get into property, which I love. But is this really a letter about the banks are terrible and shame on us purchasing property, or is this a letter about the fact you've been turned down for a home loan? Because it sounds like you're really antsy towards the banks, but is it just the banks or is it the tick boxes against that they've chosen that you're not so happy about?
You don't like the banks. There's the other aspect of the philosophical aspect that she, thinks we've all been sucked in and we've been conned and nobody's enjoyed ownership. Humankind hasn't really enjoyed ownership except for the last X number of hundreds of years, and prior to that, everybody shared everything.
Well, it's true as well. Like
equally.
you think all of the land in Australia. I mean, who says
Would we
that?
be a better people if we didn't own anything and everything belonged to everybody collectively?
No, I don't think so. We'd be.
Communism.
Yeah, because
I don't know.
we'd be Russia, wouldn't we?
I don't know. And before there was communism and we still didn't own anything, was it communism or was it just sharing? Was it? But we didn't actually have terribly much productivity either, did we?
That's right. We are in a commercial world of progress.
Final word.
Yeah, I don't. What Harry said. Everybody hates the banksters, the wide boys who cut and run, never seem to do prison time, never seem to repay the debt, never seem to learn. But I don't think it's about the banks or the 10% or whatever. I think the problem and the remedy is written on our hearts, basically. We keep thinking, how can I make a quick buck? How can I do the other guy over? The Native Americans, the Hopi, say the only real question in life is what would love do? When we start asking that question more often, then I think things will change.
Yeah. Do you like this letter to give away the pair of limited edition sunnies, courtesy of Alon Drew?
I have to say, I think the Sex Fest has just got... I just wanted to say the word Sex Fest, I'm
Sex
sorry.
Fest is a great word, isn't it? Sex Fest. We should actually start a production company, Harry.
That's it.
Sex Fest.
Yeah.
Starring
All of us.
panel.
All of us, and
Jerry,
featuring
you're
that
welcome to
video
be a
from the
part of
second
it as
letter.
well, love, if you want. Okay, which letter do you like? Do you like
I
Sex
think the Sex Fest. I like the
Sex
Sex Fest
Fest.
as well.
We've all got our hands up for Sex Fest. I don't know whether that's a good thing. Anita,
Yes. Is a dill even a girl?
Adil, Ardil.
Ardil.
Ardil's probably a boy.
Yeah, okay. Didn't know.
What's it got to do with Sex Fest?
Oh yeah, the go.
We just want you to say yes to Sex
Yes,
Fest. That's
okay,
all right.
number
All right,
one.
3 to Sex Fest. Harry.
I was drawn to it, I admit it. I'm weak.
All right.
Sex Fest.
Coming on who wrote in Sex Fest? Let's have a look. Janie
Janie.
of Preston of Victoria. Oh, she's complaining about sex on the first date having to be sanctified by a professional now. Well, there you go, Janie. We've even sanctified it. We love Sex Fest. Coming out to Janie of Preston, Victoria. Set of limited edition Aussie Optical specs. We've got to go. Bid.
Thank you very much.
We didn't actually get to chat anymore
No,
about
that's quite all right.
life
Thank you for
philosophy.
having me.
We'll do that again.
We will.
Terrific
Thank
to
you.
have you, sir.
Thank you.
Always. And there's the other aspect of your career that we didn't. Wait till we speak to Bid a little bit later. Welcome back.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful to be here once again.
It's terrific to have you back.
Thank you so much,
you are
Gary,
definitely
always.
not going to leave our shores. And
Only for a holiday, which we all should have more of them as
that's
well.
what you said last time. You went away for how many years was it?
3 years.
3 years. But you kept coming back.
I love it.
Our beaches are sensational.
That's
Correct?
the best. Yes.
How's your dancing going?
I haven't really done much.
What?
No.
Well, how are we going to have Dancing with the Stars on this carpet again if you're not going to do much?
Yeah, I will. I'll get into it now that you've told me.
Harry,
Yes.
are we going to do Dancing with the Stars when Anita trains us up?
Anita is a sensational dancer, the best I've ever seen.
She is. Remember, Harry says the rates are going to go where?
Steady as she goes.
We'll see. We're going to
as she
go.
goes.
Say goodbye, everyone. Thank you for having us at home tonight, Australia. Thank our wonderful crew and thank all of our panellists. Good night, everyone. Thank you. See you next week. Terrific.